Hi, I'm Pablo. Today we're gonna make a little exercise. We have been discussing in class adjective clauses with prepositions, how to place those prepositions properly within a sentence. And for that goal, we're gonna make a little game to practice what we have learned. So in this game, we're gonna go like this. Each of you will have a number. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna give number one a piece of paper. So number one can write a sentence in that piece of paper. And what that sentence must be about, I'm gonna show you a picture. For example, this is Francis the First, a painting of him, and it was painted in the 16th century, and he was the king of France. Now he seems like an interesting fella, so you will write an interesting story about him. So number one will start with the first sentence of that story. So the first sentence, remember how to use two sentences in order to make a sentence with an adjective clause. This is simple. You take two sentences that are related. The second sentence, you want it to uh, describe an aspect of the first sentence subject. So we can make those sentences one, and we will do so. So what will be a proper sentence with an adjective clause that comes out of these two sentences? My first guess is this is the nobleman to whom I spoke many years ago. That's correct. So you write that sentence and you will take your piece of paper, you will turn it to the student next to you, and that is number two. Number two will do three things with these sentences. The first is to check the sentence for mistakes. Is there a mistake in this is the nobleman to whom I spoke many years ago? Yes, no. If yes, you draw a happy face. If not, like you draw a sad face. The second thing you will do, number two, is to write a variant of the sentence. You know that there are many ways you can place the preposition within this type of sentences. For example, a variant of the sentence could be, this is the nobleman that I spoke to many years ago. Or this is the nobleman I spoke to many years ago. You can suppress the preposition. There are many ways. But you have to do it within the rules that I have already given to you. So, the third thing you're gonna do is to write an original sentence. And that sentence should carry on with the story of this interesting fella. So you write that sentence. If you can't come up with a sentence, you can ask me and I will give you this. I will give you two sentences and you will combine them in order to make one. For example, I will give you, the country was at war again, and the second sentence will be, he was fighting for the country. So you will combine them and can write, the country which he was fighting for was at war again. There are many possibilities. So you write your sentence with your blue pen, and then you turn it to number three turns to number four, and to the last one. The last one takes the piece of paper, turns it to number one so he can make corrections. and then you give it to me, and that's when the fun begins. So we have a game here. In this game, you'll all start with 100 points. You lose 20 points for if you make a correction of your classmate's sentence and that correction is wrong. You lose 20 points. 10 points you lose if you couldn't come up with a variant of the sentence. If you had to ask me to give you two sentences for you to combine them, you lose 10 points if your sentence was wrong and your classmate corrected properly. And you gain 20 points for each variant of the sentence you write. And if you happy or sad face of your classmate's sentence is correct, you gain 10 points. Now, the one with the most points win the round. Then we can get on with other pictures. Now, you turn this piece of paper, I correct the sentences, and then we can make a coherent story out of it. And we will all work together in order to make a coherent story, an interesting story. We be correcting a collective work. Then we can begin again. If we have time, we can do it again. We can do it again with hair, or if you want something more mysterious, you can make a story about hair. So that is the game. Let's do it. Let's practice.